you know, over the last few hours, we were hearing about tapping noises.
Every half an hour.
Sources close to GB News are now telling us that it was an SOS. That is interesting. SOS is effectively a Morse code distress signal. So that puts more detail on it. Not just tapping, but if it was an SOS, then that shows that the passengers on board the submersible are still very much alive
and can they be certain
and are calling for help.
Can they be certain they're from the submersible?
This is what we are understanding is happening. There are regular taps, an SOS signal is being sent, a distress signal. So that gives some hope, because that clock is now ticking down. 24 hours oxygen supply is left. Maybe even not even that now.
And any indication about how deep down the submersible is?
Right. We also are hearing from our sources that last night 2 vehicles were sent down to where this submersible could be. Now, those vehicles could only go to 3,000 metres. The submersible, if it is on the seabed, is more like at 3,800 metres. They couldn't get below that. These vehicles both imploded.
Oh, gosh.
When they tried to,
They weren't
This
manned,
shows how complex and how difficult this is. We are also understanding that wives of the passengers, I don't know how many of them, whether it's 2 wives, 3 wives, because there's 5 passengers on board. But there are wives waiting on a ship for their loved ones, desperately hoping for good news. Now, what is also interesting, sorry, got lots to tell you here. There is a British firm called Magella. Now, they say they are ready to help. They are very much on standby. They are working full-time to secure the necessary air support to move their specialist equipment and support crew to the North Atlantic. Now, Magellan have what's called these ROVs, these remotely operated vehicles. They can go as far down as 6,000 metres. That's crucial if the submersible's at 3,800. But there seems to be a bit of a dispute going on, because there are claims, we understand, that the US Coast Guard, for some reason, has not yet approved their involvement.
Right. Because my understanding, and like I said, this is very much breaking news, and it is exclusive to GB News through a contact of the channel. Both of these deep water salvage companies, Ocean Infinity and Magellan, both British-owned, were 3 to 4 days away, but their equipment could have been flown over by C-17 US military transport. As you say, Pip, the US Coast Guard said they wouldn't endorse that, but now we understand that Biden is involved, the President of America is involved as to whether these resources can be enacted.
Just get on with it.
Well, let's face it, budget is not a concern to these. But budget,
it shouldn't be. But why else would it? Why else would it be blocked?
Wealthiest country in the world. What are they thinking of?
You know, if it was 3 to 4 days away. I mean, this submersible has been missing since Sunday. You would think they would get all the help they could in as quickly as possible, because, as we were saying earlier, let's just say, fingers still very much crossed, that this submersible is located. If it is on the bottom of the seabed, and that's 9 Empire State Buildings, you know, it is a long way down. You locate it, you've got to bring it up.
Yeah.
How on earth are you going to do that? You can't send deep sea divers down. You've got to bring it up. You can't free them down there. The water pressure is humongous. So how do you do that? You need time to do that. There is less than 24 hours left now. That is the oxygen supply they have. And just to outline to viewers as well how difficult it must be for these 5 gentlemen on board, however experienced they are, and we know some of them are very experienced, they are in a nightmare situation. It is very small, this submersible. It's the size of a bus. It's very narrow. There's no seating area. Only one person at a time can stretch their legs out. There is one window, but you can't see anything because it's black. I mean, it's near freezing. It will be absolutely imperative that if, you know, hope against hope, they are still alive, that they are keeping their breathing under control, their heart pressure is kept low. There's a 19-year-old lad on there.
So if you're just joining us, the headline here is that sources close to GB News have revealed that the banging noises that were reported are believed to be SOS regular taps, a save our souls Morse code signal, as opposed to random banging.
And those taps, we understood, were being heard every 30 minutes. Now, that would make sense, because if they're trying to conserve energy, they're not going to be making them every 2 minutes.
And this is going to spur now the attempted rescue operation.
You would very much hope so. But as we understand at the moment, there is still no sign of the submersible. The best hope is that they locate it on the surface. I mean, how much easier would that be?
Yeah.
Now,
we've got the rescue there.
The submarine pilot, of course, is Paul-Henri Nargeolet, a French gentleman. We understand that the French have sent a ship to the site called the Atlante. It's got a robot that can go down to 20,000 feet, and apparently this is ignoring the US advice to do that. But obviously what we're seeing here, Pip, is there is a huge amount going on behind the scenes to try to rescue these 5 people. Sources have told GB News exclusively, the Americans told the 2 British companies, this is the Ocean Infinity and Magellan, to stand down. It is believed that 2 of the wives of the men involved are on one of the ships.